Hello again. Oh, well, it's good to be back from my holiday. This is the first card that I put on the CAS card making group since my holiday, and several people have asked how I did it. I did describe it, but I know that lots of people, having taught for 30 odd years, I know that people learn in very different ways. Some like to read about it, some like to look at pictures, some like to be shown, some just like to have a go and work it out for themselves. So anyway, I'll show you what I did. This card has got this large butterfly, which is from a die by Memory Box. It's actually a set of dies. There are two. There are the filigree top layer and the outline back layer, plus a body with feelers. So the first thing that I did for this card, in fact, was to cut out a template, a stencil. And for this I use mylar. Mylar is a funny kind of material. This is it. It's quite thick. And I used the background die, this one, Chloe, I think this butterfly is called, Chloe, to cut out a stencil. Now, being as it's such a big old die, you'd either need to make a clean and simple card, you'd either need a huge card base, or you kind of push it off the edge a bit. The piece of card that I've cut to start the process is the actual size of the card base, not the size of the panel. I'm going to be able to cut this down a little bit, and the reason I haven't started off with the panel to begin with is if I, in my stamping, get it a little bit skew-if, I can adjust slightly when I come to cut down for this panel. Sounds clear as mud, doesn't it? Anyway, I think the best thing to do is to just get on. The process is that I embossed a design. In this case, it was this script onto this, through the stencil, onto the card base, and then embossed it with white embossing powder. Here I've got some Wow opaque bright white regular. So let's just get on and do, because otherwise we'll be here for absolutely ever. Today I thought I would try this manuscript stamp. Don't know quite how it's going to come out. Haven't used it for a very long time, so might not work. We might be in a bit of trouble. But because it's on a wood block, I've only kind of got one go at getting the stamping right, unless I use a little jig or something like this. But I'm just going to have a go, hope for the best. It's background anyway, so it doesn't have to be just wonderful. So first thing I'm going to do is just, oops daisy, let me just tape this down. That's probably a good job I did that, really, wasn't it? Because you can see that it moved. Let me just tape a bit of it down. Okay. There. Now, what am I doing? This. Let's just give it a bit of a wipe over. Now, this is a kind of big stamp, but it isn't big enough to go absolutely from side to side on my piece of card. So that's where the cutting down again is going to get me out of a bit of a difficult situation. This one doesn't actually go right to the edge of here. So next thing, let's ink up this stamp with some Versamark. Let's hope it works. Okie doke. Haven't used this for ages. It might have gone frightfully hard. I don't know. We'll just have to see. And I'm going to try and get it level, but who knows. I'm going to try and align the side of this with the side of this here. Let's go. I'm going to have to stand up for this. Right, where are we? Oops, a daisy, I do apologise. Right. About there, I would think. Let's give it a good old press. If you can use one of these glider jobbies for... Oh, I'm sorry. Keep knocking the camera. There we go. I can't see whether that's worked or not. It's got some lovely stamping on the mylar. Don't know if it's worked on this. Let's just see. Take it out. Pop it onto a bit of paper. And sprinkle with some white. Oh, it looks quite nice. Ooh. Just give it another little bit. That looks quite nice. I was a bit worried as to what manuscript would look like in white. But I think it might be all right. Okay, we'll see how we go. Let's pop this away. Back into the pot. And we will just heat this up. I'm sorry about this. There we are. Now, I don't know if you can see this. But it is quite delicate. It's quite a delicate stamp. Okay, now what I have to do is put this back under here where it was. It was pretty much lined up with the corner of these masking tape, so I think that's about right. I'm going to put this back on there, hold that one down. Now the next thing is to add some colour for the background of this butterfly. I'm going to put some more tape down. It's not really sticking terribly well to my glass mat. Let's hope it'll stay. Okay. Might be okay. Right. The colours I've chosen this time are Distress Oxides. Let me move that out of the way. Move that out of the way. This out of the way. Let the dog see the rabbit, as my grandma used to say. I didn't think she went to the greyhounds actually, but still, we won't worry about that one. So I've got three. I used my shade chart here, and I chose three colours which I thought would be compatible. The darkest one is Fired Brick, the middle one is Abandoned Coral, and the lighter one, or the lightest one, is Saltwater Taffy. So those are what I've got here. There's the Saltwater Taffy, the Abandoned Coral, and the Fired Brick. Now the Fired Brick I'm going to use in the centre of this butterfly. Isn't that a lovely colour? So here's my blending brush, a little colour and a little colour in the centre. Now, some of the embossing may look discoloured, but once I've finished putting on all the colour, then I can wipe the top of the embossing with a baby wipe, and because it's a shiny surface, the ink should come off, says she. It always has in the past, but there's always a first time for everything. Okay, so there's a bit of deepest colour. Next one, abandoned coral with the next deep. Super colours. Right. Just circular motions, blending in. Just wondering if I should have put actually the lightest one in the middle, but maybe next time, I'll see. Just blend this in a little bit. It's a nice little word, menuet, there. Don't know what language it is, French probably, but normally musical terms are in Italian, so perhaps it's Italian, I don't know. Here we go. Right, that was my abandoned coral. Next we're going for saltwater taffy. Here we are. Put that on the end. I don't know, I think I may well have been better off with the lightest. Ah! See that move? Back we go. I won't get all of this taily bit. There's no actual embossing on that bit because the stamp wasn't wide enough, but by the time I've cut my panel, it wouldn't be showing anyway. Yes, actually, I think I would have preferred if I had put the lightest colour in between the two darker ones, but it doesn't matter. It do not make any difference. Right, there we are. So there's my colour. I'm going to get a baby wipe. Oh, none in there. Let's get a fresh one. Just going to wipe over the top of this. I'm wiping this before taking the stencil off because if I dabbed some of that onto the card, it would make a mess. So, do you see how it comes up? Lovely, isn't it? Lovely. There we go. It's called Emboss Resist, this. You emboss with embossing powder and it resists the ink that you put over the top. Okay, I'll give that a proper clean up later. Throw that away. Right, here is my potential card front. So, move that out of the way. The next thing I want to do is to put a filigree layer over the top of this. Now, because this is quite, the lines are quite fine, it's quite delicate, it would be very tricky to glue. So what I've done, I've put a piece of double-sided sheet on the back of this piece of card, which is matching the same as the card base. So what I'm going to do is hold it up to the light just to make sure that you can't see this probably, but as I'm looking against my light here, I can see that the butterfly is actually over the bit of double-sided sheet. I didn't want to cut some that had no sheet on it. So into the machine, on goes the lid. Oh. And cut out my butterfly. Here it is. So this, I'm going to pop out the bits, is going to fit over the coloured bit. Getting the bits all stuck to myself. Let's just pop them out. Just a minute. I'll cut this out, I think, first before I stick the filigree bit on, because if I try and cut this out with the filigree bit on, it'll flatten that die cut, and I don't really want that to happen. So this is where I can try and, you see, if it's not quite square to these lines here, which it's not, I think it's going up slightly to the right, I can put it on a little bit skew-iff as far as this is concerned. I think it will fit about like that. Now I've just inked, so the colour will come off onto my plates. So I'm just going to put a piece of copy paper over the top to protect my plates from getting all inky. And I'm going to cut out my front panel. There we go. Oh, it's not too bad actually. Not too bad at all. Right, there's my front panel, ready for my filigree bit to be stuck onto. Let me just take the whole of the backing off and see what, perhaps it will bring some of the bits with it. Yes, it has. I'll just pop the rest out. Because this has got sticky on the back, I can just pop it like this and it'll stick to the paper that I've got out. Right, have we got all the bits missing? No, one there. Okay. Now I'm going to attach this over the top of there. Oops. Because it's on a double-sided sheet, there's just a little bit of manoeuvrability as well. There we are. Now I need a body. I'm not going to cut this out of with the double-sided sheet because I only want the middle bit to stick to it. So let's just get a bit of, that's the right side. Let's cut out a body. There we go. Actually, I can see that I've got either stretched my stencil, because I must have moved that when I moved it that time. I didn't put it back in exactly the right place, but I've got a little bit outside the line there. Don't know if you can see that, but we will see. Let's put a bit of glue on this, stick his body down, just that middle bit. Need to cut off the bits that are hanging over the edge. go. And a few embellishments. I really quite like tiny pearls and tiny little diamante gem things, whatever you call them. These are little half flat back, should I say, adhesive pearls. You can just take them off the sheet and pop them on. Yeah, now you get the idea. That could be mounted onto here, similarly to this one. And on this one, I've just added a simple die cut sentiment. So there we go. That's how I did it. Using a stencil, a stamp, some inks, and some dies. So, hope you enjoyed it anyway. Thanks so much for watching.